Okay, hello everyone. I hope you are having the most amazing Monday. This is the last call of July, which is crazy. I can't believe it's the end of July right now. I am like, where is the time going? I feel like we're all probably in the same boat. I know last week Paige was mentioning just feeling a little bit all over and summertime and just really just trying to embrace it. And so I did try to get a guest speaker on for tonight because sometimes I feel like I'm not in the most creative headspace or I don't know what to share, or I don't know how to add value when really I know how to do that. And so I couldn't get a guest speaker on, which is totally fine. So I want to share a little bit about what my daughter has taught me with her juice stand. But before I do that, I just want to remind you guys. So from now to the end of the month, we have free preferred client sign up. So take advantage of that. Share with people who have maybe been on the fence. Usually it's $20. That gets waived. They also get a free full-size gift. They get free shipping. It's a 90-day money-back guarantee. It just makes sense for people to take advantage of that, especially when people are like waiting until after summer to feel good, or if they want to start their health goals, like they can start now. They can implement something so simple as a greens and fizz or a protein and fizz. Like we can show them how to do that. And by us showing that we're implementing that throughout the summer and still feeling good and still, utilizing that, we can help others do that too. So take advantage of that. The strawberry protein and the matcha as a combo together is still on sale for the 10% off. So as a preferred client, they're getting it for 30% off. Utilize that. I actually made a strawberry matcha. I followed the recipe. I didn't like boil down the strawberries and make the puree part of it, but I made the strawberry protein with the matcha and it tastes so good. And I didn't think I was going to like it. So try it out if you haven't made it yet, because honestly, and it looks kind of cool too. Once it's mixed, it looks like brown and it's not very aesthetically pleasing, I will say, but it tasted so good. And I made one for my mom, and my mom loved it. And my mom has never had matcha. And now my mom is hooked on matcha, by the way. She usually is an avid coffee drinker, and she's been drinking matcha with me every single morning. So just goes to show you, when people are a little bit hesitant and they try something and they're like, oh my gosh, it's actually that good. It's like, it is that good, right? So those are a couple reminders. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. But thank you, Arbonne, for always just like giving us all the good things, right? So utilize those things. Reach out to all your clients because they all have a free gift on their account right now. And if their account's up for renewal, they get the renewal for free as well for renewing. So there's just so many options to go back to people who are maybe expired and, maybe have been on the fence, or just doing everything that we can. And I know summer looks busy and it's full, and sometimes we just feel like there's no schedule to it. But some things that I've learned to do is just like follow up with one client, right? Make that one post, do that one reel, like do something each day to move the needle forward. And I'm going to share a little bit about that too with my training tonight. So like I said, I want to share with you a little bit about how my daughter's juice stand has taught me about entrepreneurship as well as our Arbonne business. And I think it's so great to see that everything always ties in. And also it's a really good lesson, things that I'm learning, things that she's teaching me, and things that I have taught her without me even probably knowing it. So, um, my daughter Hallie, she's going to be 10 next month, which I cannot believe. That blows my mind. She really wanted to start a stand this summer, which I think is so cool. Back in the day, I feel like we all had lemonade stands or Kool-Aid stands or something like that, and they're just not really around anymore. So first of all, I was all for it, but she wanted to start this because she had heard from a couple friends that they were going to summer camp. And she has never been before, but her hearing her friends, their excitement of the summer camp and what that entailed, she was like, I want to go. And so I said that she had to earn the money. And I think that's really important as kids get older for them to actually earn things. I'm not in the stage of parenting where I'm just going to give my kids everything. I want them to earn it. I want them to learn how to work hard because I think that teaches so many lessons. And so she had some bracelets made and she had them on a little cork board. And she's like, I want to do face painting and bracelets. And I was like, sure, that's great. She made her own signs and she wanted to start selling that and save some money for that. So first of all, I have a question for you guys because she's saving up for this summer camp. So when was the last time that you wanted to do something so badly you were willing to get uncomfortable for it? And truly be honest with yourself. Like when did you were like, I'm okay to get uncomfortable for it. I knew that her doing the stand, it was going to make her uncomfortable. Of course, I was there to help support her and guide her, but it's so cool to watch her flourish in this too. But I knew it was going to make her uncomfortable. But I also knew that she wanted it bad enough that she was willing to do that. So this was kind of her dream and her why. She wanted to go to summer camp, and her motivation was so pure for that. So she knew that summer camp was fun, kind of a little bit of freedom because she would be away from us, and just having those friendships and those memories, like the things that her friends are telling her about what summer camp entails. Like she is just like holding on to that inspiration and that excitement. And I think that's the same thing with our business. When we share from excitement and we share that energy, people want that, even if they haven't been there before, even if they don't know exactly what we're saying, it's the same thing. So she was so excited to do this. She didn't overthink how it was going to happen. She was just like excited about her goal. And I actually got her to fill out a goal chart on a piece of paper. It's nothing fancy. I remember doing this in my business too. And literally, I just made a little chart and it's where she fills it in with colors. So I have like 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, all the way to 700 because that's how much the camp is. And we would start filling it in. So she had the visual of how much she needed as well, which I think is great. Visual person, I am too. I love to visualize that. So, how it ties into your Arbonne business? Sorry, what's your summer camp in this business? What's your summer camp? What's your like, heck yes, I'm doing that. I don't know how. It's going to be uncomfortable. What's your summer camp? The clearer and more emotionally charged you are for your why, the easier it's going to take. And it's going to be messy action. We hear that all the time. And I feel like sometimes we always say the same things, but it's true. It's going to be messy. And my daughter had hiccups along the way. Things didn't run smoothly. And I'm going to share about that in a minute, but it didn't matter because she still kept on going. Same with our business. We need to keep on going. That's how we learn. That's how we have lessons. So, are you emotionally connected to your goal or are you just hoping that it's going to happen for you? She didn't just sit back and was like, well, mom, dad, do you think I can just go to summer camp? I was like, no, you need to get your butt out there. You need to set up your table. What do you have for signs? Make your signs. And I'll say too, I got her to pay for the products. So if she wanted to sell juice, I made her pay me back for the juice. I'm not paying for the juice because she needs to learn about that. She needs to sell that and make a profit. It's the same in her business, you guys. Yes, it's a low startup cost, but I'm not going to start a business and then not talk about the fizz if I don't have the fizz. So you have to be invested in the products you're selling because you're using the products and sharing them too. And I hope that she knows that by like her investing the money in it. She needs to figure that out. So, and she has. Sorry, I'm just going to take a sip of my greens because I feel like my mouth is like really dry. Okay. All right, moving on. Okay, so she set up her stand. She got her bracelets ready. Cutest thing ever. She had the sign, $3 each, and the word dollars is spelled wrong, but I didn't change anything. I let her do it her way because that's her vibe, right? So she made her signs. She made her juice sign. She spelled it Juyces, juices. And I'm like, this girl just literally rebranded the word juices. Like, this is amazing. Like, and I think that added more fun to it because people are like, what do you got here? Like juices and bracelets. Like, it was just her vibe to it. It was her brand to it. And that's what we talk about. Like, we aren't just Arbonne representatives. We're not Arbonne consultants. We are a brand. We are so much more than that, right? And so I thought that was really fun. She didn't wait till everything was ready and perfect. She just went with what she had and she started. And she was nervous, you guys. Like she didn't want to talk to anybody at first and she didn't know what to do or say. And I was holding her hand every step of the way, but she gained her confidence and started to get more comfortable with it. But how often do we wait until everything is ready? I do this all the time. I'm like, oh, when I get this video, then I'll make the reel, or when I do this, then I'll post this. It's just like we can't stop doing, like we have to stop doing that. We can't do that to ourselves anymore. Because then you're gonna go into, for me, it's like that paralysis of just freezing and doing absolutely nothing. Is that gonna move my business forward? Absolutely not. And it's not gonna move your business forward either. So we need to just do a little bit each day, whatever that is. So the ones who win are the ones who start before they feel ready. We know that already, and it's always progress over perfection. Whatever you can do, it's all a win, right? If you message one client today, that's a win. That's better than none. If you did one post or one reach out or connected with someone new or thanked someone for them following you and building that relationship, that is a win. But we have to do those little things, and a lot of things are behind the scenes that we don't always see. So, part three, this is when my daughter had some obstacles. So, there were some older boys that walked by her stand. And let me tell you, they mocked her. They made fun of her for her juices sign. And my mama bear was like, mm-mm. So, she felt a little bit discouraged and maybe she felt a little bit embarrassed. But the thing for me is, I watched her not let that affect her. And she was like, I'm still staying out here. I'm not. And then I was like, checking in on her. I was like, are you good out there? Did any boys make fun of you or anything? Because I'm going to go out there and kick their butt. Like, she was like, no, I'm good. I got this. She inspired other people to start their own juice stand. So she had friends and they lived literally up the road from us and they did their own lemonade and donut stand. And you know what I did? Instead of us being like, oh, that's competition, like, oh no, I was like, kids, let's go. Let's walk up the road. We're going to go support that lemonade stand. The same thing in business. There's going to be people that start another Arbonne business with other consultants. There are going to be people that start a different network marketing business. There's going to be people that start different things. And if you don't look at it as just competition, but look at it as collaboration. Cheer for other people, clap for them. You don't have to support them in the sense of going and buying their products. You can just go and support them in any capacity because if you know what that's like when someone supports you in any way, it feels really good. And it's showing my kids too that we can support other people. We can cheer for them. Like we went and got their lemonades and their donuts and we talked about it. I was like, we want everyone to win. So I also thought that was a really good lesson. And they said it was because Holly did her stand that she inspired them to do a stand too. So think of who are inspiring when you show up, when you decide to share your story, when you decide to talk about something, when you decide to get a little bit vulnerable and it's uncomfortable. It's the same thing that you do inspire others. And maybe they don't tell you right away, or maybe you don't know, but we're always inspiring more people. So another thing with a hiccup, we filled up a whole jug of juice. We had juice and we had bubbly and stuff. And she accidentally knocked it over and the whole thing spilled. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." I was like, "It's all good. That's okay. That's life. That's business, right?" It's all good. We had a neighbor complain literally to my mom and was like, "You need to get all these people to stop honking because my mom's out there waving her pom-poms and everyone's having a good time." Because his wife was sleeping because she was on night shift. So my mom wanted to buy them some earplugs because she was like, "Well, sorry, like I'm only here visiting." And it's the same thing. There's going to be people that maybe complain or think that Arbonne's a pyramid scheme or a scam, or maybe they return their products because they think they suck, or maybe people ignore us or ghost us or make fun of us. But we have to learn to have thick skin in this business. And that was a really good lesson I taught my daughter too. It's like the more and more that those things happen, that it's just going to roll off your shoulders. I remember the first time someone said no to me, I was crushed. I remember the first time someone joined Arbonne with another consultant and not me. I was so upset. I made it about me. It had nothing to do with me, right? And at the end of the day, I was like, I'm so happy for them. And so with the neighbor, he wanted us to hold a sign, hold the juices sign, not wave the pom-poms. And even when we did that, guess what happened? More people honked. So we were like, well, this is what we're doing. So it's really funny to see how many people want to support people. Not necessarily, it's always family, same as business. Sometimes it's complete random strangers you don't even know that will literally give you like the biggest tip or they'll like support you the most. And I've noticed that in my business. I've had some really amazing like clients I've never met in person, but they want to see me win and they are just want to support you. So she never let any of that stop her. She continued on and she had some really successful days. And it wasn't about just the money she was making. She was having fun because she started having conversations with people. She started getting to know some of her neighbors we've never even met before and talking to kids. And it just was so fun for her to see like this big bright light shine on her. And again, not just about the money she's making, but you could just see this glow in her, which I think is so cool. So she started smiling more. She was being proud of her table. She was inviting people to her table. She was proud of like the bracelets that she built and the time she took to make those bracelets, and just talk to people in general. Like I wasn't out there the whole time at the stand, and I would be watching her, and she'd be shaking like people's hands and just having those conversations. I think is really cool. Of course, I was watching still because I'm a little bit eerie of that kind of stuff, but overall, it was great. And it was great to see her confidence. But the thing was that she was so repetitive with it. She wanted to be out there. She wanted to keep showing up, regardless of all of that, even on the hot days. And that's the same thing with our business. So you become good by doing and not just by waiting. If she just waited for something to happen, it wouldn't happen. Like I told her, she couldn't just sit there and wait for people to come to the juice stand. She had to be standing there, like waving, smiling, sharing her like sign, like doing something to get people's attention for them to want to say like, "Hey, what are you selling here?" And then of course sometimes people didn't stop and that's fine too. But same with our business, when we hear like a no, it does build strength. I promise you that. And every yes, it just builds your belief as well. So finally, she is super, super close to her goal. Again, she's not quite there yet, but she's like, I think she's almost at $700, you guys. And she hasn't been out there for very long. So I'm like, this girl is killing it. And I told her when she hits this goal to keep going, right? And that's same in our business. Once we hit a goal, do not stop. I don't care how many times we've said it. I'm just going to say it one more time. Do not stop. Do not take your foot off the gas. Do not think like, I've arrived. You've never arrived. You've never arrived. You need to keep going. You need to set a new goal. You need to keep reaching. And I'm not saying that you need to be in go, 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 like to the point you're burning out, because we don't burn out. We need to set boundaries. But you need to have a goal in mind. You need to be aiming for something. You cannot say, okay, I'm now a district manager. Like, life's good. Like, well, don't you want to help other people get to district? Don't you want to become an area manager? Don't you want to get your district manager bonus? Don't you want to become a bonusing area manager? Don't you want to help people to get to area? Like it just keeps going from there, right? So you've never arrived. So don't stop at a goal. And yeah, she's just learned so much. Like I said, her courage, resilience, and her grit in this has just been so inspiring. I love it. I think it's so cool. I want all my kids to do this at some point. And then, yeah, just not about the income, but who she's becoming along the way. Same with us. Like, yes, the paychecks are amazing, but it's who you become. I just look back and I think the growth, the conversations, like how we can change emotionally and just everything that Arbonne brings to the table when you actually do the work. It is so much more than just the paycheck. Of course, the paycheck helps with like the time and the memories and what you want to do with that, the opportunity. But at the end of the day, it is about working through the hard, having those hard conversations, everything that comes along with it, I think is just so important too. And again, showing what our kids what's possible, showing our family, our partner, like when we do the do, it is inspiring them. Like I guarantee Hallie will say, like for me showing up, sharing my goals, even if I don't hit them all the time, it inspires her in some way, shape, or form, whether she wants to admit that or not, because sometimes we just like to butt heads a lot because I feel like I'm just parenting my younger self. So, anyways, just to wrap this up, I just want to ask you guys, what's one area where you've been waiting until it's perfect? Again, we wait so often until we just have to make that decision. Either you're sick of your own shit, or you decide enough's enough, or today's the day. You just have to go for it. So you just have to start. So show up in your business this week like the little girl showing up for her dreams on her lemonade stand. Put your table out, make your offer, and just believe in yourself because you can do this too, even if it's summer. We don't need to tell ourselves the stories. And just share what's possible and make sure it comes from purpose and just not pressure. So that is all I have for you guys tonight. I hope you found value in that. And just again, anything can be taught a lesson. And if you want a bracelet, I'm just going to throw it out there because she's selling bracelets, even if you're not local. Some people are selling or buying bracelets and then we're giving them to random strangers to make their day. So that's all I have for you. And I hope you loved my training tonight.
Okay, I absolutely loved it. And as per usual, I have something to say at the end. Charles, never, ever, ever feel that you need to have a guest speaker because honestly, when you put a training together, like I'm captivated. Like how you just like look at a few notes and like spit out everything you're saying. I'm just like, it blows my mind and it's so inspiring. And I love how again and again, I look at real life situations and how they pertain to Arbonne. And I just really love that, and I'm cheering on Hallie so much. And I would love to donate a bracelet to somebody. So you just have her shoot me a message. Also, I just wanted to say, if you were on the call last week, sorry, this is like horrible lighting. I actually don't look the best. My eyes are super puffy again today. But I just want to say, like, whoever was on the call last week, thank you so much for just like giving me the space to be emotional. And Vic's putting in the chat she wants to support her too. And I'm just so grateful for you guys. But it's so funny. After I got off the call last week, and I was really emotional with you guys, I actually felt better. And I was like, oh, so this is what they mean when they say letting it go. So, like, not that you guys need to be my space all the time, but I think that it really shows that, especially as like moms, as business owners, as, daughters, we have things that we have built up inside of us. And I think that we always try and put on this like tough face, right? We try and put on and be that person that can handle anything until you get to a breaking point and you need to just let it out. And I will just tell you, when I let it out with you guys, and again, that's not going to become a regular. Are you going to see me emotional? Absolutely. But it's not going to be regular where I'm like, ah, crying over here. I will say this. I was like, okay, what's my solution in this? I got off the call and I said, what is my solution in this? Because I'm not going to spend the next month of summer, the next week and a half or week and a half that was left in July at the time. I'm not going to allow myself to keep telling myself the same story because at the end of the day, it was all a story. Like everything that I was feeling, like my feelings were valid, but the story that I was creating and the breaks that I was putting on was not the truth that needed to happen. And so with that, I was like, okay, what serves me? What makes me feel good? What makes me feel good's routine. So I immediately wrote down everything that I want to do in a day that makes me feel good. And then I like looked at the timeline that I had and I timelined it out. And if you were watching my stories, you saw it. Not everybody needs to be like that. I know that's what serves me, especially when my life around me is super chaotic or super like changing schedules every day, different timelines for everything. I need to have some sort of like guideline and then figure out how to fit it into my day. Guess what? Did it for a couple days. Guess who felt amazing? Yeah, me. Then I also asked myself, what am I going to do in my business? Because I know what I'm doing today and what you guys are doing today is what's going to show up in September, October, and November. We cannot wait and tell ourselves that the biggest quarter of the year starts in September. It starts right now. So I was like, hey, I'm going to do Discover Arbonne. I know I have brand new people in my life. The two ladies that I golf with, literally, both were hard nosed before. Now they're great clients of mine. The one was like, I don't do things like that. Both said to me last Tuesday night, I'm actually thinking about doing Arbonne. You make it look so fun. So I was like, okay, putting a Discover Arbonne. That was, I was like, awesome, putting it on. They're going to come on tomorrow night. Have another girl that's a new client coming on tonight because that's an answer. At the end of the day, and we hear this all the time, activity fixes everything. Think about it. If you're thinking about going to the gym and you're thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about it, what fixes it? Going to the gym and having a good work sesh, right? Sweating it out. So what's going to fix your Arbonne business right now? Getting into activity. It doesn't it doesn't need to be August jam packed with so many things that you don't have time to spend with your family, but it needs to mean sprinkling some things in there that allows you to feel fulfilled in your business because you guys, we are passionate about Arbonne. And maybe, like, I'm not sure, Vic, where you're at right now, but maybe you're laying in bed rest, but maybe you can do some practice calls on the phone. I don't know. Or you can ask for help with doing some of those and you just sit back. I know you're so capable of them, but maybe you just want to book a couple and you need Chelsea or I to speak on them for you. Like, there's always a solution. And I think at the end of the day, like Chelsea said, you get to a place where you're just sick of your own shit. It doesn't mean that what we're feeling, that it doesn't mean that maybe there isn't some truth to the fact that it's a slower month or whatever it is, but you have to ask yourself, what am I going to do to move forward? Because I don't know about you, we're building a fucking nation this fall, like absolutely 100%. But where is that starting? With my effort today. And 100%, am I going through some personal things that are tough and trying and sad? Absolutely. But those things are still like, I'm not going to be in that same place in 3 months. I'm going to be settled into a new routine and I'm going to regret not putting my foot forward. Right. And so what can you do today? And so I just wanted to share that because I'm just so grateful that you guys held space for me, but also want to encourage you that if you are holding on to things or you are telling yourself a story, get it the hell out of your mind. Write it down, voice note it to yourself, ask somebody to hold space for you. Ask somebody, be like, can I have 30 seconds? I need to get this out. Perfect. Are you holding your hand up, Adrian? Do you want to say something? Okay, give her.
I was at a retreat this weekend and I was talking to our somatic yoga instructor who I also saw at Wild Rose a couple weeks ago. And she was saying, so does like a lot of body work, a lot of somatic work. And she was saying that it only takes 30 to or 60 to 90 seconds to process an emotion in your body. And what takes the longest is when we start telling things to ourselves in our head and creating stories about them. But you can process an emotion in as little as 90 seconds.
Wow.
It's the stories that drag everything out. So
Yeah.
breathing through them and not thinking about them, but actually just thinking about where in your body you're feeling them instead of creating stories about them will help you move through them faster.
Love that so much. And it's so true. And I did want to share, I had some things that I wrote down on a different book, wasn't planning on being in the car tonight, but just to let you guys know, if you didn't hear it or see it, Omegas are coming out in the US, launching January 1st, sorry, August 1st. I have written down in my other book when Canada is expecting to see some of the products that we've seen released. A lot of that, like we're going to start seeing them Q1, so January, February, March of 2025, which is great. I know which one, so I'll put that in the chat. Sorry, guys, I meant to have that with me tonight. But I know for me, literally had an eye appointment last week, and the doctor's like, your eyes are really, really dry. I have great vision, but he's like, your eyes are really, really dry. Are you taking omega-3? And I was like, no, but funny. I'm going to be ordering some from the US. So anyways, also wanted to say in July, so on July 1st, I say in July, I know but technically promotions from June, they're always stated July 1. 295 new district managers, 90 new area managers, 18 new regional vice presidents, and 5 new national vice presidents. You guys, Arbonne's thriving. Arbonne is absolutely thriving. And this is the slower, in quotations, time. So where are we going to be in the next 6 months? What are we going to do, right? 30, 60, 90-day cycles. So again, Chelsea, thank you so much for everything that you shared. I absolutely, yes, people are promoting this month for sure. But what can you do today to move yourself forward? And what are you going to do to, continue to see what we know is possible in the fall? So, with that being said, all the area managers, if you want to stay on area managers and VPs, Chelsea, I know you said that you had to get going. Super short and sweet, but thank you again so much for such a great call. And if you want to stop the recording.